Ooh, welcome everyone. We are live today. This beautiful Friday. Oh, yes, it is a beautiful Friday. Here's looking at you. That's the topic today. You see, sometimes we get caught up in looking at the lives of other people. We get caught up in, oh, but this person, they do this, they have more chances, they have more opportunities. We look at other people and we want what they have. Hmm? That's human nature. It's natural to want what someone has. But here's the secret. You don't ever have to be envious. You don't ever have to be jealous. You don't ever have to covet or long for. You just need to know that you can bring it to yourself. You can create it. Because we are creators. Hmm? When you go home and you cook for your family, what are you doing? Creating a meal. You see, we want to think that creation is this thing that is so far-fetched and only God can do it. But where is God? Hmm? God is within you. How can I be so sure? Hmm. Well, we have this invisible thing within us. We call it the breath of life. The breath is invisible. So if it's invisible, it must be spirit, because you can't see it. But we have the evidence of the existence of spirit. And sometimes we say, "Oh my God, I just want to be so spiritual." You are spiritual. You don't have to earn your spirituality because you are spirit. How do I know you're spirit? Well, you're walking and you're talking. Because if you go to a funeral, what's missing? The spirit is missing. Well, clearly their body remains, but the spirit is missing. So you see, when we want to accomplish something, if you're going to look at someone, look at their mindset. Look at what causes them to accomplish what they do. Some would say, well, that's nepotism. Some would say they're just lucky. Do you really think it has anything to do with luck? Now, here's the kicker, right? If you believe that it has something to do with luck, then so shall it be. Hmm? Then so shall it be. As within, so without. As above, so below. Such as you are, you're the seed, and you are always planting yourself somewhere. But rest assured, whatever you say you are and you plant yourself, ta-da, you have to reap the experiences that show you what you have done. You must always see the evidence. And people say, well, I was looking for a sign. Signs don't happen before. Signs come afterwards. Why do signs come after? Because you must see the evidence of what you said about yourself. The evidence is what follows you having done something. If you don't do anything, what kind of sign are you waiting for? Are you waiting for a sign to tell you if you've done the right thing, made the right choice? Well, honey, that's all on you. Well, how do you know something is good for you or not good for you? You're the one who wants it. But when we second guess ourselves, hmm, you stir things up that don't need to be there. But what if I'm wrong? What is wrong? You see, we put these labels on things, and this is how we end up being the thorns that the seed falls among. And we choke that thing from ourselves. I was in a room last night, a beautiful room, and I had to leave because I had a call, but they were talking about faith and things. Now, in scripture, it says, whatsoever you ask for. It says, whatsoever you ask for in prayer. If you believe that what you ask for is yours, well, then it is. But Angela, I don't believe in scripture. I don't even, I'm not even like religious. You don't have to be religious. Not by any stretch of the means. Religion is man-made. Religion is man-made. What is all religion telling you? That there is something. There's something. Something beautiful, something grand, something awesome. That's what religion is telling you. So instead of looking at the religion to tell you what is, you already know what is. Well, how do you know? People always ask this question. Well, if somebody never heard about Jesus, are they going to go to hell? Where's that question coming from? Do you know we all know who God is? Of course you know who God is. It's just that you know the word God. You know the word. Go beyond the word. Go to the experience of God. Well, how do you do that? We do that by recognizing the animating power that is. Well, what do I mean by that? The equivalent is always look at the funeral. That body in the coffin is no longer animated. What is missing? Well, you said, but George is gone. That was just George's name. But what was George? I'm not talking about his personality. There's something in you that you see, we look at things like breathing and walking and talking as, that's just what we do. Yes, it is what we do, but what makes you do it? That is the same power. You see, there's only life, you know. There's only life, but then why do we die? Look at the seed. Look at the gardener. Does the gardener plant dead seeds? If the seed is dead, how can it grow? It's not dead. It's alive when you plant it. Everything goes towards life. Everything goes towards life. And the seed is the biggest witness of that. But I've had these seeds in the drawer for years. They're not dead. Plant them. What happens? Now it dies. But does it die? That's what we would say. It just becomes what it was always meant to be. So if you plant carrots, you're going to get carrots. Why am I telling you this? Because it is exactly the same thing that happens mentally. Mentally, you have a thought. But where does that thought come from? You know how they have that question, which came first, the chicken or the egg? I always thought that was a silly question. I was like, what do you mean, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Everything after its own kind. So something was created first, yes. The seed, because the seed brings forth its own kind. So that just answers your question. The seed brings forth its own kind. So why the seed first? Because the seed is life itself. So you see, what type of seed is it? Well, that depends on the mood. What kind of mental seeds do you have? That depends on the mood you are in. What do you mean mood? Just as I said, your mood. So if you're looking at someone and you're like, oh, I can't stand them. They always have the latest of this and blah, 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 they're flaunting it, blah, blah, blah. They think they're better, blah, blah. Where's that coming from? What is your mood? You feel inadequate. Why else would you look at someone who has and you don't and you say, they think they're better? Why else would you do that? If you felt adequate, you would not. So you see, our thoughts emerge from the seed. It's the seed of our mood. You notice if you're in a good mood and you smile a lot or you giggle a lot because you're in a good mood, other people start to do the same thing. But if you're in a bad mood and you're cantankerous, what happens? Same thing happens. It's the mood. So today, as you go through the world, don't worry about looking at this person or looking at that person. Look at you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hmm? Pardon me. Sorry. I sure hope YouTube is recording this because I'm on my app, but I digress. When you, hallelujah, pardon me. If you spend your time looking at other people, but here's something. If you're looking at you, if you're watching you as you watch other people, you'll see what mood you're in and you'll catch yourself. If you're looking at somebody and you're like, oh my God, that's awesome, good for them. What does that mean for you? What seed are you holding there to plant? Compassion, gratitude. And those seeds that you plant, listen, you're always going to get a harvest. So if you're looking at you, you will see how you behave. You will know what you're thinking about. You'll know what mood you're in. And if you catch yourself, you say, whoa, 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 girl, is that how you really? That's how we gonna do things? You gonna have that attitude? And you catch yourself and you say, no, I'm gonna have a different attitude. We're gonna pull a Patti LaBelle. I got a new attitude. I'm feeling good from my head to my shoes. Right? That it's just a new attitude. But we think that being in a good mood means we've got to be happy and giggly and smiley all the time. No, it just means when you're in a good mood, it means that you're walking from a place of, life is good. Even though we may have weeds in our garden, life is good because everything goes towards life. That's a good mood. You don't have to be, I'm so happy, I'm so happy. You don't have to be that. I think that's what the young people are calling toxic positivity. Because it comes from a lack of understanding, a lack of comprehension. Which one of us can be happy 24/7, 365, or 366? None. Because the scripture says what? There's a time for everything. And that's the law of rhythm. There's an ebb and there's a flow. Sometimes you'll be happy. Sometimes you'll be sad. Sometimes you'll be eyed. Sometimes you're like, eh. It doesn't matter. You go with that. You watch the self. You feel the self, but you comprehend. You begin to understand what you're saying to yourself by way of your feelings and your emotions. So when you're looking at someone, because we have eyes, and Lord knows I'm a voyeur. I love to people watch. I just do. They're very interesting people. And we watch people, how they walk, how they talk, how they look at you, how they behave. You can learn a lot about a person if you do that. But at the same time, don't get it twisted, you are also learning a lot about you. How do you respond to them? You respond from your mood. You respond from your mood. You see? We're doing it all the time. So don't worry about what the other person is doing. They can only act according to their mood, just like you're acting according to yours. So the solution to the problem would be check your mood. Ow, check your mood. Why? Because it is the seed that you plant. Yeah, but I'm so worried. What if I fail? Where is that coming from? Is there such a thing as failure? Hmm. is there. It's either you do it or you don't do it. If you did it, yay. If you didn't do it, try again. Practice. That's what we do. We practice and we practice and we practice. What are we practicing? We're practicing listening to the way we speak to ourselves. How are you talking to yourself? What do you say to yourself? You walk down the street with, oh my God, my life is so hard. I don't know what I'm going to do. Nobody likes me. Nobody cares about me. I'm alone in the world. If you are walking, imagine if you will, you're walking down the street and you have this satchel, this, like a courier's bag, and it's wrapped across your shoulder, and you put your hands in it and you take out seeds and you scatter them into the wind. That is exactly what you're doing when you walk down the street. Oh my God, you're sprinkling those seeds of despair. As I told you, you don't have to be happy all the time, but recognize what you're planting. Recognize that we go through states. What is a state? A mood, a mental attitude. We go through them. But here's the key, go through it, because we're always moving from one mood to the next. But you see, we hold ourselves in this suspended animation. We hold ourselves there because of the mood we're in. And if you practice any mood, well, then it's just easier to get into that mood, isn't it? And if it's so easy to get into that mood, that's the first choice you're going to make. And if that's the first choice you're going to make, that is the experience that you shall have. And what do we say? Oh my God, why does this keep happening to me? Why does this always happen to me? Because you're in the same mood all the time. But I know that can be hard to hear. Angela, what are you saying? That I do this to myself? Well, I'm not doing it to you. But that's hard to hear. But instead of being upset about what you hear, test yourself to see what you're doing. Don't get mad at me because I say it's your mood. You think I'm telling it to you? I have to live the same exact thing. I've got to check my mood. I must. I got up yesterday morning and I said, I'm going to go to work and I'm going to have the best day ever. And let me tell you something. When I was leaving, my supervisor said, Angela, you did great today. And I was like, oh. I was just so excited by that. And you know when it hit me? What I had done? When I was reading the lecture. Yeah, that's when it hit me. Oh my God. I did do that, didn't I? I said, this is the day I'm having. And my whole day was, listen, whew, when you're dealing with the trades, anything can happen in the twinkling of an eye, really. Anything can happen in the twinkling of an eye. You can have somebody call in sick. You can have somebody quit. You can, and then what are you going to do? You got to keep your cool. But keeping your cool is practice. And we think it only has to do with great big things. No, it has to do with you and how you live your life, period. You practice freaking out, you're going to always freak out because you're practicing, and we perfect what we practice. We get really good at what we practice. So instead of watching how the other person does their stuff and comparing yourself, look at you. What do you want to do? How do you want to be? And you make that determination. And you say, you know what? I am that. I am. I'm that. I'm productive. I'm quick. I can think on the fly. Because what are you doing? You just put your hand in the bag and took out a whole bunch of seeds of self-confidence and threw them out. And what is your harvest? Pardon me. Been cold on the exterior, dare I say. But that's what I'm saying to you today. Pardon me. You practice. What are you going to practice? Somebody is talking about me today, okay? Somebody is talking about me. What do you want? That's the first step. Angela, come on now. This is just like what Neville said in the lecture last night when he caught the flu back in 1969. He caught the flu. He said millions of people had the flu. But you know what he said? I brought it on myself. You know, we tend to hear things. We hear things on in the world and we take them on and we think that they don't affect us. But this is the word listen, this is my favorite word. He said, we live in this world and we are penetrated every day by the things in the outside world, by other people. The moment you think of someone with any kind of feeling, they have mentally penetrated you. Oh, yes. They've mentally penetrated you. So that's why you should be cautious when you look at somebody else. And we are tempted to judge them. Think about that. What are you doing when you do it? You see how powerful you are? You take your power and you put it into somebody else. Just because, man, they're better than me. Or, who's like, they're not better than me. Anyway, why should I train you? Oh. What I'm saying to you today is this. The principles apply to everyday living. The principles apply to everyday living. Is this not life? We live. What do you want your day to be like? All I knew was, man, today is the best day. I don't know anything else. That's it. That's all I said. It's the best day. So now today is going to be better than yesterday. Why would it be better than yesterday? Because my confidence got a boost. You see what happens to you? Our confidence. Confidence grows the more we practice it. That's what you're doing every time you practice the principles. That's why it says every day you have to examine yourself to see if you are holding true to the faith. Every day you've got to practice it. In the most mundane of things. Oh, I want a free coffee today. I want a muffin today. That may seem trivial. But what if you want an apartment? What if you want a car? You see, we're living and we live, things penetrate us and we want something. And that is natural. But don't you rob yourself of it with, oh my God, maybe I want too much. Do you know what the worst thing is? To know the principles and not use them. Oh, you want something in your life, but you're like the one guy with the one talent, right? And he's like, oh, I want this, but my master's really hard. Yes, master. He's really difficult to deal with. He's really scary. And what if he punishes me if I fail? And so you hide it. So what does that look like? It looks like I'm telling you, you don't have to remain in a state of fear or a state of poverty. That's what I'm saying to you. You don't. All you have to do is know what you want. And there's a feeling that's going to come. Oh. There's a feeling that's going to come when you say say, I want this. Well, then, you've planted the seed. Well, then go with it. Don't sit there and contradict yourself and think about all the reasons why you shouldn't have it, or if you're good enough to have it. Why would you do that? But then in the same breath, you'll look at somebody who has and go, I wonder what they did to get it. Do not be afraid to use the principles deliberately. You will grow your confidence. Brandon, you are on it this morning. Yes. He's dropping me some scripture in the YouTube chat. Matthew 7 verse 2, for with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged. And with the measure you use it, it will be measured to you. That's the principle of correspondence. You can't get other than what you are. My mother just sent me a message telling me to read Psalms. I don't even know why my phone is not in is out of do not disturb, but I digress. Because it pings, right? And I don't like that. But what are you going to do? See, this is why when I tell you, you will pronounce your own judgment on yourself. Nobody has to do it for you. So that's why I say, it's okay to people watch, but don't you judge. And Brandon just told us why. One of the biggest things is the mental diet. And you know, this is what Brandon is saying. Well, why? The universe is mental. The all is mind. Mind is not brain. Mind is, I am aware of my existence. I told you this yesterday because you're conscious. To be conscious means you are aware of your existence. You are aware of it. Well, of course you're aware of it. You put your socks on, you're aware that your toes are cold. Ooh, I should put some socks on. I should put some fuzzy slippers on. Why? Because your feet feel cold. You are aware that they're cold. But we think that consciousness and awareness is something so vast. No, it is as simple as that. That's why if you look at yourself, and Brandon also said he is merciless against himself. Do you see what we do? This is why I'm saying to you, that conversation you have with yourself is based upon the mood that you are in. So if you're in a mood, that mood will determine how you speak to yourself. And how you speak to yourself is the way you will what? Act. The way you will behave. And yes, Brandon, you can only see the contents of your own consciousness. As within, so without. Listen, my melons are still growing. I want to cover those bad boys down. I haven't picked them yet. I'm going to cover them and see what I can get out of them. Why do I have melons growing? Because I planted melon seeds. So your mood will determine the mental seeds. And what are mental seeds? Thoughts. So the next time you want to ask yourself, where did that thought come from? Your mood. And how do I change it? How do you change anything in your life? Change your mood. And be faithful to the new mood. Why? Because it is in your faithfulness to the thing that you're doing that you experience the best of it. And I know you want to challenge me on that, but go to karate and practice karate for any length of time. Go to violin class and practice violin for any amount of time. Practice piano. Do you not get better if you persist? So I'm telling you, if you persist in a particular mood, you will continually reap those experiences. Hey, pardon me. Jesus. You guys heard me totally disintegrate into congestion. uh, but that's okay. Come on. Let it end right here, right now. No more of that nonsense. But what I'm saying to you is this, and we'll get the bowl and welcome everyone. Check that mood. And I will say it to you again. I want to sneeze. No. Sorry. What you persist in doing, you create in your life as an experience. Neville gave the example of the pianist. You heard me, the pianist. I didn't say the other word, but I digress. They practice every single day. Mozart, Tchaikovsky, Frederick Chopin, they practiced every single day. And that's why we still play their music today. They practiced every day. So what you practice, you perfect. Oh, but there's nothing perfect in the world. Really? Life is perfection itself. So what are you practicing? Are you practicing complaining? Oh. Well, when you become a master complainer, you'll know how you got there. That's what I'm telling you. But we keep thinking it has to be something so profound. No, it is everyday living. So if you practice with the attitude that says, you know what? I'm going to be faithful and diligent to always know what I want. I always want clarity. So I'm going to practice being clear. I'm not going to say, I don't know anymore. What do you want to do? Now, you might say, well, I don't know, but you'll catch yourself and go, wait, let me think about it. And the more you start saying, oh, let me ponder that. Let me think about that for a minute. And you actually think about it, you'll gain your clarity because you persisted. Anyhow, Amelie. Sorry. Uh, welcome everybody to the space this morning before we get the bowl, okay? Saps is here. It's symmetric. Hey, you guys are here on Twitter. Listen, it is always such a beautiful thing to see you and to spend time with you today, you know. Who's on YouTube today? And Facebook. Hey, Brandon. Wisdom Almighty is in the house. Cyber is in the house. And Montreal. And for the rest of you who have not made yourselves known in the chat on YouTube and Facebook, I still see you. You still matter to me. I love it. Fan base, who's kicking it with us today? Amelia's in the house. My lovely KZ is here. Big Mike. Oh, but wait. Summer Rose. Oh, honey, I haven't sang that in a long time. I have surely missed you. Yeah. And then Moon and Dolphin Duck, vicariously, yes. Miss McQueen and Flo Smiles. Listen, as we go forth out into the world today, do not take one moment of your life for granted anymore. You want to go to the grocery store? You got a list? What do you want? You want the sales? Well, then that's what you get. You say, listen, when I go, I'm going to get the sales. I'm going to get my points. I'm going to rack up my points. What? I'm going to get these bargains. I'm going to get that great parking spot. Well, because it's, Miss Marjorie said to me a long time ago, she goes, you know, Angela, it's the little things. It's these creature comforts that make life. It's always going to be the little things. Always. Make today a beautiful day. But how? Your mood, your attitude. Let me break it down for you in this, and then we'll hit the bowl. When you get into the mood of, when I get that feeling, I won't, right? When you get into that mood, what happens? Okay, so you understand. But what if you get into the mood of, I'm gonna slap a heifer. You, well, what's gonna happen? So, your mood. Look at your mood, and you will become a prophet. Oh, how so? Because the mood will predict what you'll say, what you'll do, and what you'll become. Mm. Let me get the bowl. Let me get the bowl, y'all. Oh, Rosalind, yes. I have 2 hearts remaining. I gotta fill up on hearts. Let me turn this around and get the bowl. So when you hear the bowl this morning, I don't know that you'll get bird song because I left him upstairs alone. He's asleep still. My baby is sleeping. My little tiny rooster. But when you hear the bowl this morning, make a determination for your mood. What's your mood gonna be? Child, just pick a good mood. Again, you don't have to be happy and being all crazy. You don't have to do that. Your mood could simply just be, how good and pleasant it is to be alive. Even if, think about it. If you have that as a mood, or, oh my God, life really sucks. What, what comes out of the mood? So as you hear the bowl, choose your mood. It's like the record in the jukebox. Oh, choose it. And watch how beautiful your day is. And then you can tell me all about it tonight when we get together at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's get the bowl. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love to you, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, fan base. Thank you all for coming out today because it is Friday. Before we go, here's the process. What do you want to change in your life? That's what you know what you want, right? You always have to start with, do you know what you want? That's like getting into an Uber and saying, just drive, darling, just drive. And he's going to say, well, yeah, I do drive, but where are we going? If you don't tell him where you're going, your destination, he won't move from there. So we must always begin with what we want. You do not try and validate why you want it or justify why you want it. And some would ask, but what if I want evil? Well, then that's up to you. But remember this, as within, so without. So don't think that you want evil and evil is not within you. Every single person can go through the state of evil. Every single one of us. We're not exempt from it. It is law. So choose wisely, yes? Deuteronomy 28 would say to you, today I put before life and death, choose life. Right? So what do you want? Don't justify it. Don't try and validate it. Don't try and decide whether you're worthy or not. Do you want it? Yes? Good. What would it be like? What would it feel like if you had it? What would it feel like if you had it? Oh, now begin to entertain that. What it would be like. Oh, my day would be fantastic. I would be excited. I would just be at peace. I would be ... Name it, feel it, embody it. Over and over and over and over again. When do you know how to stop? When you experience the thing you said you wanted. That's when you stop. Well, why else? You wouldn't listen. You don't keep going after the climax has been reached. But you can't. It depends. It's just men in the space, right? Once you have reached the precipice, the climax, the only other thing to do is to sigh with relief now because you've met your objective. But that is the same way of life. Once you have accomplished what it is you set out to accomplish, the only thing now to do is to enjoy it and bask in the afterglow of it. No? So those are the 3 steps. Step 1, know what you want. Listen, whatever your personality is, you can write it down. You can sing about it. You can dance about it. Listen, your personality, just write it down if you want to. I want ... Is it a new job, a new car, a new house, whatever? It does not matter. You are alive. And first of all, we can't be naked. Well, it'd be brilliant, but just not in minus 40-degree weather. Right? You don't want to be naked in that because things start to fall off. But I digress. So we must have clothing. We must have food. We must have shelter. But because you have to have food, clothing, and shelter, it doesn't mean that you can't want the best of those things. Rumor has it that somebody has gold faucets and a gold toilet, but hey, who am I to judge? That's what he wants. Well, do you know what you want? So if you know what you want, you name it. And then you ask yourself, ooh, because you have to get into the mood. Oh, you got to be in the mood. So once you ask yourself, I wonder what it would be like if I were the person I wanted to be. What if I was like super confident? What if I was like whatever that is? And you start putting yourself in the mood of that thing. Well then, when you get into a mood, how do you act? You act according to the mood, do you not? Oh, of course you do. You know it as well as I do. But you see, you would want to say, well, that's just nature, Angela. Oh, what else would it be? So because you think it is nature, you should take it for granted? No. If it works on the physical, then it works in the mental, because it cannot be in the physical if it's not in the mental. But I digress. So today, my beautiful friends, practice knowing what you want, putting yourself in the mood of what you want, and then doing what? Rehearsing that mood until such time it solidifies in your world. Because it must become physical. Because you got to see the evidence of it. When you get more confidence, you walk differently, you talk differently, you dress differently, you step differently, don't you? Yes, you do. So, let me stop yakety yakking, because I gotta leave. uh, 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 Kimmy, is that how I say it? Welcome to the space, dearest. You're catching us on the tail end, but because one of us is a chatty Cathy, I'm still here. Right? But I love you. And once I close, I'll close all rooms today, because normally I spend extra time on Fanbase, but I'm spending extra time today with all of you because I love you. Because I love. Sorry. Uh, listen, there's always a song. And anytime I'm feeling sad, that Phil Collins song just popped into my head. When I'm feeling blue, all I have to do. Right? My father always says to me, "You want a good joke?" I said, "Yeah, Daddy, tell me." He goes, "Look in the mirror." And I'm like, get out. But he's right. Anytime you want to lift your mood, just look in the mirror. Listen, you just gotta laugh sometimes. And when you laugh, something beautiful happens within your body. You release endorphins. Just the same way as if you're sad, you release those chemicals. So don't think that nothing is happening in the background. Don't take your life for granted, my beautiful friends. It is a privilege. It truly is. It is a privilege. It is a privilege. Oh, yes. So as you go through this day today, what kind of day do you want to have? Mm, a fun, flirty day. Yeah, those are the best days because I get to giggle a lot. Even with the most cantankerous of people. It's all right because I talk to a lot of people in a day. But as you go through this day, remember who and what you are. You are fantastic. And there's only you. You are unique in your expression in this world. You don't have to believe it. You got to know it. You got to know that you are amazing. Yeah, but they always say I'm such a loser. That's the mood they're in. What mood are you in? Look at your mood, not somebody else's. Don't let somebody Don't let somebody's mood influence you. Good, bad, or indifferent. It doesn't matter what their mood is. What matters is what is your mood. Set the tone for wherever you go, because wherever you go, God is. Why? Because God is you. Oh, but you can't handle that part yet. It's okay. Neither can I. It's a lot to get your human brain around. That I'm not just a girl. Then she say, "I'm just a girl. Lucky me," right? Yeah. No, I'm not just a girl. I'm a girl powered by what? God itself. Ow. Sorry. It's just that every time she does it, it cracks me up because I'm like, how did you come up with that? But I digress. It was the mood she was in that caused her to come up with that thing she does. Ow. So I do it too because I think it's funny. Anyway, I love you. Indeed, I do. And I know that you will enjoy the beauty that is. If the world is beautiful, that means you're beautiful, honey, because you're in it. Oh, yes, indeed you are. But don't think I'm nuts. These nuts. Don't think I'm nuts. I'm being very for real. Take the beauty with you wherever you go. Because Lord knows there's a lot of us taking the ugly with us when we go too, don't we? Mm. So take the beautiful with you, because you are beautiful. And I will see you tonight for the bedtime lecture. I don't know what it is because I haven't chosen it yet, but I'll see you tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I gotta do the dishes before I go. And I have what? 6 minutes remaining. Anyway, parting really is such sweet sorrow. I love you and I look forward to seeing you again tonight. And if you're like my mother, you'll send me messages every day. Anyhow, I love you. Peace.